In the heart of Saxony lay Dresden, known affectionately as the Florence on the Elbe, a city renowned throughout Europe for its breathtaking Baroque architecture, a jewel box of culture and artistic grandeur. Its crowning glory was the Frauenkirche, Church of Our Lady, a magnificent feat of 18th-century engineering, recognized by its colossal, single-piece stone dome, an architectural marvel that seemingly defied gravity. This was architecture designed to elevate the spirit, a monument to peace and artistic genius. Yet in February 1945, this architectural paradise was subjected to one of the most intense and controversial bombing raids of World War II. The resulting firestorm, reaching temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius, was so fierce that it literally melted the city's historic fabric. The seemingly invulnerable dome of the Frauenkirche, after withstanding the heat for 2 agonizing days, finally collapsed, turning the church into a 13-meter-high mound of rubble, a profound tragedy of architectural proscription imposed by war.
The collapse of the Frauenkirche was the moment Dresden's soul appeared to vanish. It was a visceral symbol of the total annihilation of the German Baroque capital, an act of destruction that remains debated by historians and military strategists to this day. Unlike ancient structures lost to time, this was a deliberate, catastrophic loss of a masterpiece that was fully functional just days before. The ruins were immediately forbidden from being cleared by the East German communist regime, which left the rubble pile, the Mahnmal, warning memorial, as a stark political statement against Western aggression. But this act of preservation by neglect unintentionally set the stage for one of the most ambitious and emotionally charged architectural reconstructions in modern history. Our investigation will explore the genius of George Bähr's original design and the extraordinary lengths taken decades later to resurrect this symbol of hope from the ashes of destruction.
Welcome back to Vanished Grandeur, where we uncover the stories of structures built, broken, and restored. Today, we examine how architecture can transcend its physical form to become a powerful symbol of national identity and reconciliation. The Frauenkirche, completed in 1743 by architect George Bähr, was revolutionary. It broke from the traditional Gothic longitudinal design, embracing a central, octagonal plan crowned by its massive stone dome, weighing an estimated 12,000 tons. This Baroque masterpiece was not only a church, but also a secular civic monument, a testament to Dresden's newfound wealth and artistic flourishing under Augustus the Strong. Its construction methods were so innovative that the dome was considered practically fireproof, a confidence tragically undone by the sheer scale and temperature of the wartime inferno, making its destruction a heartbreaking architectural irony. George Bähr, originally a master carpenter, was the visionary behind the Frauenkirche. His greatest challenge was engineering the massive, self-supporting stone dome, which rose without external buttresses, defying the structural norms of the era. He used a series of 8 powerful arches to carry the load, distributing the massive weight over the central core. This design not only created an open, bright interior perfect for Protestant worship, but also represented a bold, forward-looking piece of Baroque engineering. It was a structure of immense architectural importance, and its intentional targeting and subsequent destruction highlight how warfare seeks to eliminate not just military targets, but the very cultural pillars that represent the spirit and ingenuity of an enemy nation. The church was, in essence, an architectural hostage in a global conflict.
To understand the loss of the Frauenkirche, one must appreciate the context of Dresden's Baroque center. The church was part of an ensemble of architectural treasures, including the Zwinger Palace, the Semperopera Opera House, and the Royal Palace. This concentration of high Baroque and Rococo design made the city architecturally unparalleled in Central Europe. The bombing campaign effectively obliterated this historic core, leaving a sea of ash where stone had stood for centuries. The rapid, total collapse of such a dense architectural landscape was an event rarely seen in warfare, transforming the city from a historical monument into a tragic case study of urban architectural devastation and loss.
The collapse of the Frauenkirche was a secondary effect of the surrounding firestorm. The heat generated by the intense, sustained inferno caused by incendiary bombs dropping onto densely packed timber-framed buildings was immense. This heat created an updraft, sucking oxygen into the center and superheating the stone of the Frauenkirche. Its thick walls and dome initially resisted, but the temperature differential between the protected interior and the superheated exterior walls caused the sandstone to weaken and crumble. On February 15th, the remaining supports failed and the dome imploded inward. The destruction was a catastrophic lesson in material science. Even massive stone structures have an architectural breaking point when subjected to extreme, sustained thermal shock. In the years following the war, the new East German government decided to leave the 13-meter-high mound of rubble exactly where it lay. This ruin, known as the Mahnmal, Warning Memorial, became an architectural symbol of socialist anti-fascism and, ironically, the injustice of Western bombing. This decision essentially prohibited the clearing or rebuilding of the site for over 4 decades. The rubble, although an artifact of destruction, became a potent political monument, architecture defined by its absence. The original dome's cupola cross, bent and twisted by the heat, was placed on top of the pile, a haunting reminder of the original structure's demise. The communist regime's decision to maintain the ruins was a deliberate political and ideological ban on restoring the church. A rebuilt Frauenkirche might have symbolized bourgeois piety or German nationalism, neither of which was welcome in the Soviet-aligned state. While other key structures, like the Semper Opera, were meticulously restored for propaganda purposes, the church remained a scar, frozen in time. This political freezing of the architectural landscape meant that the physical preservation of the ruins became a silent yet powerful act of cultural memory, sustained by the people despite the government's wishes.
The desire to rebuild the Frauenkirche was sustained by a grassroots, forbidden movement among Dresden citizens throughout the Cold War. In 1989, just weeks after the fall of the Berlin Wall, the Ruf aus Dresden call from Dresden was issued, petitioning for the reconstruction. This was a critical turning point where the political prescription on rebuilding was finally lifted. The project immediately became a symbol of German reunification, peace, and reconciliation, transcending its religious significance to become a universal cultural project, a massive architectural undertaking rooted in democratic popular will.
The reconstruction utilized a method known as anastylosis, the meticulous process of reassembling a ruined structure using as many of the original elements as possible. The original plans, blueprints, and thousands of photographs were used to meticulously map the location of every single stone in the rubble pile. The decision was made to use the original, fire-damaged black stones wherever they fit, integrating them into the new, lighter sandstone. This created the iconic patchwork effect, a visual narrative where the old, darkened stones serve as the architectural memory of the destruction, literally built into the new facade. This commitment to historical accuracy made the reconstruction a unique blend of modern engineering and historical restoration. The first phase of the reconstruction involved clearing the 22,000 cubic meters of rubble, cataloging every piece, and determining its original location using advanced 3D photogrammetry and computer modeling. The sheer scale of this architectural puzzle was unprecedented. Over 8,500 stones were deemed reusable. This methodical, painstaking work was crucial. It ensured that the restored Frauenkirche was not a mere replica, but a genuine resurrection of the original architecture, utilizing the stone that had resisted the fire. The black gold of the original stones became a precious architectural commodity.
Although the exterior looks faithfully Baroque, the reconstruction incorporates crucial modern architectural improvements. Steel-reinforced concrete was used in the core structure to strengthen the load-bearing elements, making the dome capable of withstanding modern seismic activity and ensuring its longevity. Hidden modern climate control systems were integrated to protect the delicate interior. This fusion of 18th-century aesthetics with 21st-century engineering represents a successful dialogue between historical memory and contemporary architectural necessity, ensuring that the vanished grandeur is rebuilt with an added layer of resilience. The rebuilding of the massive stone dome was the project's defining architectural achievement. The dome was rebuilt brick by brick using the original techniques, but the pinnacle holds a powerful symbol of international reconciliation. The new gold cross, which sits atop the dome, was crafted by Alan Smith, a British goldsmith whose father was one of the pilots involved in the 1945 bombing raids. This intentional act of commissioning the cross from the descendants of the perceived destroyers turned the architectural restoration into a powerful symbol of healing and forgiveness, effectively lifting the political ban imposed by historical conflict. The reconstruction, which cost over €180 million, was funded almost entirely by private donations collected worldwide by the Friends of Dresden organizations. This global fundraising effort demonstrated that the Frauenkirche was regarded as a universal cultural treasure, not just a German one. The support came from former combatant nations, including the UK and the US, transforming the architectural act of rebuilding into a multilateral act of peace. This powerful financial backing from around the world solidified the church's status as an architectural symbol of hope and unity. The interior architecture, characterized by its luminous galleries and vibrant colors, was also meticulously recreated. The acoustics, designed for both sermons and Baroque music, were restored to their original perfection. The central layout promotes communal participation in worship and concert-going. The restoration included the painstaking recreation of the altar and the organ, ensuring that the church could fulfill its original architectural and spiritual function, once again allowing the light and music to fill the vast open space created by Bähr's innovative design. The successful reconstruction of the Frauenkirche has served as a powerful model and architectural blueprint for other reconstruction projects worldwide. It demonstrated that even seemingly total destruction can be overcome through meticulous archival research, advanced technology, and unwavering political and popular will. The story of the Frauenkirche provides hope that other vanished architectural grandeur, from Sarajevo's library to structures lost in recent conflicts, can potentially be resurrected, confirming that destruction need not be the final word on human achievement. The Frauenkirche's journey from architectural masterpiece to political Mahnmal, and finally to a symbol of global reconciliation, is one of the most compelling in modern history. Its original design was an 18th-century triumph of engineering. Its collapse was a 20th-century tragedy of war, and its rebuilding is a 21st-century triumph of hope and architectural dedication. The patchwork of black and light stones on its facade is a permanent visual narrative that ensures the history of the destruction is never forbidden or forgotten, serving as a powerful lesson embedded in the very fabric of the building. The reconstruction of the Frauenkirche was a direct reversal of the political prescription imposed by the Cold War regime. It was a victory for cultural memory and the democratic right to restore heritage. The fact that citizens had to wait over 4 decades to begin the work underscores the tyranny of ideological bans on architecture. The rebuilt church is not just a faithful copy of the Baroque original. It is a monument to the perseverance of the human spirit against political suppression and physical devastation.
The Frauenkirche proves that architecture can transcend its function as a mere shelter or place of worship. It can become a collective metaphor. When we look at its rebuilt dome, we see not just George Bähr's genius, but a visible sign of international healing. It confirms that the greatest architectural masterpieces are those whose ideas of beauty, peace, and hope are so potent that they compel generations to rebuild them brick by agonizing brick, ensuring that their vanished grandeur is resurrected. The Frauenkirche stands tall, a towering monument to persistence, proving that even from the depths of a firestorm, architectural hope can rise. If you are captivated by this story of rebuilding and global reconciliation, please subscribe to Vanished Grandeur and share your thoughts on the most significant architectural rebuilding effort in history. Our next episode continues the theme of wartime loss, moving to the UK, London's Crystal Palace, the fire that took a glass masterpiece. We will explore the innovative iron and glass architecture of this vast structure, its role in the 1851 Great Exhibition, and the dramatic, defining fire of 1936 that left nothing but scorched earth. What other colossal structure lost to fire should we investigate next? Let us know in the comments.